Whenever I go about making one of these machines that I've been making for a long time now, I'm never really sure what it's going to be. It's almost as if the machine has a life of its own and decides what it's going to be. I know that the process starts with a kind of scavenging, looking for materials, recording stuff, filming things, and then later trying to put all those things together to make connections. But really, if I wanted to find out what the process is, I'd have to spy on myself for quite a long time. A kind of self-surveillance, and perhaps a surveillance of the machines. And that's what's happening in this film, to see exactly what happens and how these machines get made without conscious effort.
That was your grandfather on my mum's side. Sea captain.
A sea captain? Yeah. There was a captain?
Captain on a ship.
Ship's captain.
That's on that side, and the other one was a master engineer. Got the papers.
Blimey, that's good.
He had his own factory in London, but decided to he used to like dancing. He used to do this, you know, these dancers with a number on their back.
In the film Cholera Clocks, you see a lot of relics, and there's a lot of things like little matchsticks and burnt out things that you see on conveyor belts coming through. With the thumbs of Santorasan, there's actually 13 of them. 7 of left, 6 of right maybe. It's almost blatant that it's a commercial enterprise. There's a whole machine that goes on behind the scenes. Prayer machines where we insert a coin. The idea of relics being mass-produced, a bit like a factory really. Radiomancy is a form of, for me it's a form of divination, using radio as a sound source.
Just telling me how much there was something I've been literally invented and something. As I said, Miss Locksley, the choice.
Morse code is almost an early kind of programming language. I started to cut up sound using that method of Morse code. And this is something which has been advanced in the bingo splicing machine, which uses 7 channels of voice.
Unlucky for some, bakers dozen. A flea in heaven, more than 11.
The machine is incredibly complex. In fact, it's a very complex way of producing very random sounds, really. It has the mark of the factory, but it also has the mark of this unpredictability. And that's what I love about machines, when they start to go wrong, when the industrial process hasn't quite worked out, hasn't produced exactly what it is that the manufacturers were intending to make.
Who's been building shrines for the past 8 years. His shrines are not what you normally would expect. They're what he calls coin-operated random divinity machines. It'll all become clear in a second.
Along the way on the Camino de Santiago in these churches, I kept finding a machine that really baffled me. To me, it was a religious machine.
And it was this point, you see, that
there was a row of candles, maybe 64 candles. I think it was some number like that, 64 or 32. You placed a coin inside the coin slot.
absorb the energy of the sun. The moon.
They were there on time in the morning. If I didn't put all this...
And a random candle ignited, electricity flowed through the bulb. A random bulb. Had a little plaque on the side, and I wrote down the address, and I wrote to that address and received a brochure in return for all different types of models of this machine, this prayer machine, coin-operated electric prayer machine. So when I was back in the workshop, I started to create these, a reconstruction, if you like, of these machines. Relics Museum on the Camino de Santiago, and inside there they had lots of strange fragments that I didn't really understand, not being religious really myself, but they seem to have collected a lot of seemingly random objects, pieces of bone, pieces of wood, splinters of wood, rocks, small gravel, I remember, nails, I remember metal nails. There might have been screws, I think they were nails actually.
I also throw in one bingo card.
Something strange starts to happen to those objects. They start to transmutate, transmogrify to religious objects, into magical objects.
I pledge focus to the glow of the light bulb.
I started to feel that everything was leading towards this kind of Techno-Animist kind of belief system, really.
In the names of Tesla, Edison, light bulb, and petroleum. My refuge is in the triple filament.
It seemed as if I'd started to believe in the idea that machines had a kind of a living spirit inside them. What form would this cult take? What would be their religious practices, so connected as they are to machines?
Thy inductance shall be overrated, for the coil transforms all in floating earth and neutral earth.
Would they go on alchemical pilgrimages, for example, to visit television antennas on remote hillsides?
In the name of Farad, Watt, Ohm, and Voltaire, thy diode done.
But that's another story. My next film about techno-animism.